I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. This is Anatomy of Success, and this week, 7 signs to be noticed when a leader is dishonest and greedy. Let's get started. I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. Again, this is Anatomy of Success. We're glad you're here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you haven't yet, and join us on the various platforms where we do our audio podcast as well, if that's easier to take us on the go. We've launched a new platform that you might be interested in. It's aos.academy, where we have tons of resources that fit in with our 4 tenets of equanimity: better health, healthy relationships, healthy intimate relationships, and more satisfying work. And it all begins with hard work and a commitment to take a long-term approach to building a better mindset and employing tried and true things that are going to make our life happier and give us a greater sense of control. If that sounds good, join us and let's do this together. I promise you'll see results over time. It's not immediate gratification, but there's lots of things that you can dive into and benefit from that I know will help you on this journey. Now, we all need to work. Work is an inevitable part of life. You need to make a living. My preference for you is you go off and do your own thing at some point, and you can apply these leadership skills we're going to talk about today. But if you do work for somebody, and that's fine too, you got to be aware of leaders that are shady, because they can really make life miserable. And most people leave work because they dislike the person leading the business. So trying to help you pick up on some of these things. So if you see these things in the workplace, you start to think about where you want to go and what you want to do in the future, because it makes a huge difference if you're spending 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week working in a miserable work environment with somebody that's dishonest and greedy. In recent history, no other company personifies the detrimental side effects of arrogance and greed better than Enron. This classic example of parsimonious behavior and disrespect for their investors illustrates how the ego is often the catalyst for a rapid ascent but a disastrous fall. Enron executives cooked their books and misled regulators for years. They used special purpose vehicles to hide their debt and their deceit, making investors believe they were financially fit when they weren't. The company's stock plummeted, and by December 2001, it was at 26 cents. Don't think bad leadership makes a difference. Think again, it's a slippery slope. When someone with a massive ego and access to power gets a taste of the opulence associated with control and money, I see it all the time, and the worst perpetrators believe they're extraordinary instead. When people succumb to the illusion of being omnipotent, watch out. When leaders think they're smart, they can outrun accountability and violate customer trust. Beware. Greed is a dangerous attribute. When leaders become infected with uncontrollable greed, every decision is impacted by their impaired judgment. This is reflected in policy changes, which can be driven by political interest or the perception of doing good. Or it can result in small compromises that escalate into a tidal wave of poor choices. Regardless, greed is a problem, and people must recognize its insidious nature. So here are 7 signs to be aware of a leader that's greedy and damaging your business. Overconfidence. The first sign you're dealing with a greedy person, their ego. No humility and arrogant behavior convey overconfidence, and being too confident isn't good when you're driving a ship through enemy territory. Without humility, leaders start to believe in their own infallibility, and that can be very dangerous. Envious. When leaders are preoccupied with the competition and envious of other people's success, we have to beware. That obsession with competition is a sign of insecurity, driven by a scarcity mentality. People that believe other people's success limits their own believe in a world where winning has to come at the expense of somebody else losing. That negative energy will never drive an organization to be incredibly successful, different, and healthy. No empathy. A leader without empathy lacks the ability to really care for and make good decisions as it pertains to people. When leaders lack empathy, they make decisions based on self-interest. They don't care who gets hurt in the process or if they even survive the aftermath. That type of disregard for people ruins corporate culture and leaves people feeling unsure and paranoid. Never enough. People that are never satisfied push to get more for the purpose of appeasing their voracious appetite for indulgence. It's that simple. They don't consider how to expand a business so everyone can benefit. They grow to satisfy their own appetites. They will take exorbitant salaries even when the organization is suffering and find a myriad of ways to justify their greed. Manipulate. Greedy leaders are manipulators, and they do it with ease, by the way. They love soaking up all the accolades and seldom give credit to the accomplishments of other people. They have massive egos, and they love being surrounded by people that affirm their decisions. They view people as tools to get what they want and have no trouble using people for personal gain. No stamina. Greedy people have no stamina, no endurance, and want instant gratification. They want money fast, and they get bonuses without contemplating long-term success or the health of the organization. These are business partners that want fancy cars before the business is profitable, and CEOs that take dividends while people are working multiple jobs to stay afloat. A leader without endurance lacks stamina for long-term success that benefits everybody. No boundaries. Greedy people have very loose boundaries that are ambiguous, and they bend the truth. They can justify lies, and stretching the truth to support poor decisions is a sign of lack of integrity. These people have no moral compass and poorly defined values if they have any. They have no trouble being inappropriate and believe they are untouchable. So, we've talked about 7 signs of a greedy person in a leadership position that can be big trouble for your career. Got to pay attention to these signs of people in your organization that exhibit these types of traits and ask yourself, is this really where I want to work? And if you're planning to start a business, you certainly don't want to become that person. So we have the tools at aos.academy to ensure that doesn't happen. We have courses on leadership, courses on building a better mindset, managing your emotions, on how to build a small business from the ground up and do things the right way so that long term you can become financially fit, independent, enjoy your life, have healthy relationships, and focus on your health. Does that sound like a bad idea? Not to me. I've done it for 6 decades roughly. So I think you'll find what we have to offer useful. And it's not some panacea, some anecdote that's going to help you do this next week. It's a lifestyle. And that requires a commitment and a sacrifice. And if you're the kind of person that wants to sign up for that, you're the kind of person we'd like to get to know, because we believe you're the kind of person that's going to make a difference in the future. And we need a lot more leaders that don't exhibit these horrible qualities we talked about today. I'm Steve Wohlenhaus. This is Anatomy of Success. Until next week, let's stay focused, let's stay positive, and let's stay optimistic.